joining us now here in studio, Dr. Gil Murciano, the CEO of Mitvim, the Israeli Institute for Regional Foreign Policy. Thank you very much, Dr. Murciano, for joining us. So let's talk about what is at stake from the Saudi standpoint. And later on, I assume sooner rather than later, we will get to the Israeli standpoint here. But from Riyadh's viewpoint, what is it that it wants to achieve?
Well, as Mike mentioned, this is a preparation for the big visit, the one that would come up probably in May or later this spring. And on the table, on the agenda, before every other topic, regional or global, is this investment plan, basically. This tour by Trump during the spring, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar maybe, $1 trillion of investment, basically, in US. Just like another day in the office, basically, in the GCC countries. But as mentioned here, there's a number of related topics. It's not just economy. It's about the Houthis, which the Saudis have a bitter experience with. It's about Gaza, where the Saudis hold a key role in the rebuilding of Gaza with or without normalization with Israel. But it's also about Iran. Because if we are discussing currently the negotiation path or the military path, the country that is bound to be affected most, if not damaged most, by a future airstrike is the Saudis, which we know are quite vulnerable, the trade routes, the Hormuz Straits, and so on. So there's a combination of economic, regional, and I will add another element, the global level. The Saudis are now not just a center, of course, but also the negotiation between the US and Russia on the Ukraine issue. So everything ends right now and starts and ends with the Saudis. And
all goes through the Gulf, if you will, those different hubs of mediation, if you will, from Oman through Doha to Riyadh itself. But you've mentioned the Iranian issue, and here we must admit that the Saudis have been playing it both when it comes to the relationship, the rapprochement, the Chinese-mediated rapprochement vis-a-vis Iran, and also, of course, keeping all the options open when it comes to this perhaps more Western-led route, which also goes through Israel. At this point in time, playing, dancing on the two wedding floors here.
Indeed. I mean, what the Saudis are mostly doing is a hedging game. Sometimes we don't understand it in Israel if we bring in the Israeli perspective, which was always a binary perception of the region, pro-Iran and against Iran. And you know, what we've seen in the last couple of years, and especially since the major event of the first Trump term, the attack over the Aramco production facilities in Saudi Arabia, is this understanding that they cannot really they cannot support, or they cannot tolerate, basically, the zero-sum game. They cannot really live through this zero-sum game between Israel and Iran. They are much more vulnerable when we speak about the trade routes. And therefore, you see this hedging process. But you also see another thing. You see a growing Saudi demand, especially from the start of the war, for some kind of a security pact between the Saudis and the US. And this is also part of the discussion currently. Continuing the hedging game, but also creating a new status vis-a-vis the US.